Stan Gibilisco here with a little Nerd Castle update, and then a question for you. A question for myself. I'm in the Nerd Castle penthouse right now. That is a Toshiba laptop, probably 10 years old, with an external monitor on it, so that I've got two screens there. That's the Microsoft Surface Pro 2 that I just got and been creating videos on that. Got a little fire going here, a little fake fire. Now I'm going to take you down the stairs. Hopefully I won't break my neck on the way down. These are doggone difficult stairs. I mean, they're difficult even for a person who doesn't suffer from whacked head syndrome. Well, you know, I'm only 5'6", and I still have to watch my head on this Stanley Philip Gibilisco Memorial overhang. The space heater going. Another space heater going. In an earlier video, I talked about getting off of these heaters. I missed out on something. I missed out on one of the other workstations, the main level office, where this old, well, not too old, I believe it's an HP notebook computer with its own external monitor, as you can see, is currently scanning a full scan for viruses and malware and other such things. I just did a full disk scan as well. Even looking for bad sectors and things, because this computer is starting to show signs of difficulties. It's starting to get a little feeble, kind of like me. That's a Windows 7 computer. The old Toshiba in the Nerd Castle penthouse has Windows XP on it. Yeah, that's right, Windows XP. Never sees the internet though, so their lack of support for Windows XP doesn't concern me. The Surface Pro 2 has Windows 8.1 on it. Now I'm going to take you down into the cave. A little view of the Nerd Castle kitchen. I hope to have a good-sized T-bone steak later on today. I get the appetite up for that. W1GV, that's my ham radio call sign. Whiskey 1, good vibrations, and we're going down into the nerd cave where you're listening to the ham radio. On yet another computer, this is a, I don't remember who makes this one. There's some great images in NASA wallpaper, a 46-inch monitor, Sony. It's an actual television, an actual LCD television, and an LCD external monitor. Well, maybe that's an HDMI monitor. I'm not sure. 5:45 p.m. on April 7th, 2014. There's the ham radio, and you're listening to W1AW's Code Practice. I worked at that station, W1AW in Newington, Connecticut, from February 1977 until May 1979. Then I departed for the tropics in May 1979. Spent the better part of the 80s and the 90s down there in the tropics. There's yet another, that's an HDMI little external TV. And then that bright white stuff there, I'm doing my quarterly incremental archiving on this HP Envy, which is the most powerful of my computers, which I use for video productions. Now here's the question. I promised you I was going to ask you a question. I was going to pose it to myself. Do I really need all this stuff? Well, I've begun to accept imperfection in some of these machines, because the more stuff you have, the more problems you're going to encounter, the more technical problems you're going to come across. And things are just going to start to fall apart, and you're just going to have to live with it. At least I'm going to have to live with it, as long as I got all this stuff. I guess I'm just a nerd. I just like to fool around with cool stuff, but I mean, like, where is it going to end? Oh, I know where it's going to end. Back where I started. Wooden boards with nails pounded into them, batteries and old-fashioned components. Where I plan to build on this antiquated circuit board. A laughing-stock circuit board, you might say. Out of semiconductor diodes, which you see right there, a battery, which you see right there, and some resistors, which you can see right here if, well, the iPad doesn't really want to focus on them very well. I'm going to build some logic gates and demonstrate how OR, AND, and NOT gates work. There's a cordless phone. Just a whole bunch of hardware, but remember, the more stuff you have, the more stuff is going to break. You just have to live with it. Got a surge suppressor down there, a new surge suppressor. I suspect that 2 computers died as a result of that. And then, of course, the high-tech phone, which I used to call my venerable parents, bless their souls, both 90 years old. May I live that long, too. So that's the question. Do I need all this stuff? And the answer is, well, obviously not. So why do I have it? I'm just a kid that never grew up. I like to have all these toys. But someday I'm going to rebel against it and move out to the wilderness, I suppose. Time will tell. The way our government's going, though, I can tell you it might be sooner rather than later. I'll leave you to figure out why I made a remark like that. Stan Gibilisco, signing off for now. Till later. So long.